Good evening, everybody. It is okay, 8:30. I'm actually wearing my iWatch today because I want to see all the steps that I make with all the things I do, and I quite a fair bit. Um, I'm actually in a really good mood this evening. This morning I kind of started out a little, and between sitting back and relaxing and doing exactly what I was hoping to do, which was bare minimals, like very little to nothing. And took Joanne to go to do a urine test, and she's waiting for the results to see what's going on. She's hoping that the test results will warrant an antibiotic for whatever might be going on that we're not fully aware of yet because of one thing or another. I'm not going to go into details about her medical situations and whatnot because most of what she's been doing lately, medical wise, is trying to keep in touch with her doctor, her Mercy Care people, via the messaging services that we have with Mercy and whatnot. But we got back from that, and I drove home from the clinic, and one of the rules that we have in this little household of ours is driver gets to pick the music. So of course I picked my music, my Nordic music, and I'm not always 100% like sure how Jerry's going to enjoy my taste in music and whatnot, but she's actually enjoying the music and whatnot, and I don't really know how to put it, but let's just put it this way. When we got home and whatnot, and of course, on the way home, as a treat to Jerry Ann, we went to Starbucks to get our usual beverages. I like the chai tea latte, iced, not hot. She has a variety of drinks that she likes, so she got a blonde breve with sugar-free vanilla foam, I think it was. But on the way back from our little adventure this evening, I came to a realization of two things. One, since I don't have to worry about what general society thinks about my dress and my looks and whatnot, I decided, heck with it. I've been literally diving into the Nordic idealisms and the Nordic lifestyle and the Nordic way, and I get these weird visions. Best way I can describe them is I see myself differently than the way I actually appear. Like internally, I see myself dressing a certain way, and I said, you know what? It's getting warmer. Let's try some of my Renaissance clothes on and see how I feel towards wearing them on a daily general basis, even going out of the house. In fact, I ran up to Walmart to do a grocery pickup that Jerry had ordered last night, and I was wearing what I'm currently wearing, which I'll show you here in a moment. If I have enough space, I might have to move some stuff around. But when I got home from taking Jerry Ann out to her medical appointment and the whole 9 yards, I basically envisioned myself wearing what most people nowadays would be, oh, that's Renaissance style clothing. To a certain degree, yeah. I don't have the financial status to buy authentic Norse or Viking type clothing, so I buy the closest I bought. This is about a year or so ago. Bought the closest that I can get from Wish and Amazon to the closest that I can afford. Oh, they're talking about a bug we found in the house. But anyhow, I basically, this is what I was wearing. I've been wearing all evening. Oh, You might have actually seen me wearing some of his clothes, and in fact, if I have a photo, I'll try to drop it on the end. But hang on, let me just try to. Excuse me. Basically, this is kind of like a tunic type shirt, and I'm wearing a belt with basically 2 small and 1 large pouch, and basically leggings or pants that come to a cuff and they tie off here in the edge. Some people who don't know the Renaissance clothing or anything like that would say that I'm trying to cosplay a pirate. Well, in a sense, yes. In a sense, no. Because Vikings are pirates. The word Viking literally translates into pirate. But this particular shirt, it's a wool cotton type material. Same with the pants. They're a cotton type material. They're nice, and I'll be honest with you, they kept me. They're comfortable. When I was out and about, today's high was in the, like, it came to 82. It said it was only supposed to be 79, but it actually came to about 82. Driving in my car with the windows open, I was comfortable. I was comfortable with the air on here in the house. Air is set at like 70, 71 degrees for inside. It's breathable. It's comfortable. I think if I ever go to reorder, I have to double check the sizing on these pants, but I think they're a little too short because they're a little tight in the groin. But maybe it's because I'm wearing the hem too high. I don't know. But I love the pants. They're comfortable. It's elastic drawstring type pants. So I think they are a little bit too small because I don't have to tie or cinch up the drawstring to tie together. But I've been wearing this since, I say I've been wearing this for the last about 4 to 5 hours. Probably closer to 4. And I'm like, you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm enjoying it. I love the way I feel. I love the way I look. My hair's done up. My beard's done up. I feel natural. I feel like myself. Not somebody who's trying to appease society or social standards or modern day ideology of what a person should look like. Clothes have evolved over the centuries, but you know what? When clothing becomes more of a fashion accessory or a style than a comfort or durability or something other than just being in with the in crowd or the fashion sensible people, it's. I used to look at my wife sometimes when we left the house for just a simple, we're going grocery shopping or running up to do something. And it wasn't a formal event where she can wear whatever she wanted and be comfortable. And I used to think to myself, man, I can understand she's uncomfortable in a bra, but I used to worry about what either one of us looked like going out in society. And I realized, you know what? Why do we worry so much about what society thinks about our clothing and whatnot? And I just went, I got these Renaissance clothing for Renaissance fairs for the factor of me getting more and more and more involved in the Norse Viking ideology or mythology or lifestyle and look. I thought I heard thunder, but we're not supposed to get storms. Not until after, it is almost 8 o'clock. But I was just kind of like, why do I worry about what other people think if I'm happy with what I'm wearing or I'm happy with the way I look or any of that stuff? And I just kind of went, Why does it freaking matter? I mean, yes, this shirt alone on Amazon.com is $12 to $15. But you got to realize, if it's made out of the right material, like this shirt is made out of cotton with very very well stitched, you know, very well stitched up in the shoulders and whatnot. This shirt, if I maintain it properly, could last me probably the rest of my lifetime. You know, and that's the thing about clothes back in the Viking era, Renaissance era type clothing, was they were made so an individual person would only need one outfit, and that one outfit, if that one outfit could last them for quite a long period of time, depending on, you know, what his lifestyle was or what he did on a regular basis. Clothing back then were designed to be durable and long lasting. I mean, the average citizen of a Renaissance era city like Paris or London or places like that, the average citizen would only have enough money to buy one pair of clothing every so often, and they would have to do whatever, if they didn't make it themselves, they would have to do anything and everything they could to keep it in good condition. The only people who had the financial well-to-be to have more than one or two outfits in their lifetime were the rich and upcoming royal people, dukes, earls, queens, princesses, kings, you know, people of stature. So I'm like, if I can be comfortable in the clothing items that I bought, then I'm going to be comfortable and I'm going to wear what I want to. Now, this is not the only outfit I have. This black pair of pants and this white shirt. I have two other pairs of Renaissance black pants, identical to the one I'm wearing. Then I have another shirt of this quality with, I'm going to show you this, but the symbol, the same symbol that's on this shirt. I have another one that's, I think the shirt itself is black and the symbol is red and gold or something along that line. Then I have a couple Renaissance style shirts like similar to this without the symbol that are silkier, and they're made more or less made for formal wear or something other than just traipsing around on a regular basis. I probably got enough Renaissance style shirts to wear one every other, change one into one every other day or so, and then I could probably use maybe one or two more pairs of pants. I have to go on. I'm gonna go back onto Amazon.com and see how much they cost on Amazon. Surprisingly enough, I think most of my Renaissance clothes that I currently have are from Wish.com, and this was back last year or the year before. Had to be back in 2019 when I was actually ordering stuff from Wish. I only had maybe, out of the 30 or so items that I ordered for Wish, I think I maybe only had 5 out of the large mass amount of stuff that I bought from Wish that were duds. And they weren't even clothing items. These were just little useless tchotchkes or little useless things. But I'm happy with what I have. Would I like to basically switch out all my clothes for Nordic Renaissance Viking inspired type clothing? Yes. Am I going to? No. Even though I have seen many a shirt, t-shirt, hoodie, and a few other items that are Norse and inspiration that I was like, I want that. Ooh, oh, yeah, not for that price tag. A little steep for me right now. I'm not asking anybody to get me anything. Even though I do appreciate the various gifts that I have been sent from 2, 3 different people. So I'm thankful for those who want to, whether they're inspired or feel the desire or push or whatever from not me, to purchase items to send to me because of my interests. I'm thankful to you guys, but please, I'm not asking for any more. And it's like I said before, I appreciate it. I don't expect it. And I'm not trying to belittle the gift giver or givers. I'm just express try my best to express the appreciation without belittling anything. But today's been a very interesting day. Like I said, it started out a little rough. Jerry got the go to, or the darn it, I don't remember medical terminology, but she got the script, or however you want to put it, to go to the Mercy lab, which didn't cost us anything because of our medical insurance, to go get a urinary test for any kind of UTIs or anything like that. On a personal note, Jerry advised me that if I didn't want to speak directly to the doctor about personal issues of my own, medical personal issues, that I can send her a text to my concern so she can possibly send me to a specialist. My main medical concerns aren't that bad, so it's not like a 911, but I had I'm guessing it was stress induced. I wouldn't want to call it an episode, but I had this unexplainable pain shoot basically from my left pectoral muscle through my shoulder down to my hands, to my left hand. And being as it was just a flash in the pan type situation, it was one of those, should I go and talk to my doctor and possibly go through a what they call a stress test, where they try to get your heart rate elevated so they can see what kind of possible problems you may have with, the I went through the stress test once before just to check my blood pressure, my heart rate, and my breathing, and that was a joke and a half. And I'll tell you why here in a second. But, well, actually, it's part of the story. I mean, when I originally went to go get a stress test in New York before going to Yellowstone back in 2010, the doctor wanted me to go do a stress test, and I went to the facility for the test. And what they do is they sign you in, check you in to know that you're there for the test, and then they tell you to go to a diner around the corner from where the facility was and get yourself the fattiest, greasiest meal you can think of, which is like bacon, sausage, scrambled eggs, biscuits and gravy, and toast with lots of butter and jelly. And that's exactly what I did. I went over there, ate this big gigantic breakfast, ate the whole thing, because even though to some people it's a big gigantic breakfast, because New Yorkers really don't know what big proportions are, or very few places give you large proportions. But basically, my meal consisted of a piece of bacon, a sausage, an egg, the equivalency of one egg, with one biscuit with gravy on top, and 2 slices of toast. That to me is an average breakfast. That's not a big breakfast. It's not super greasy, super fatty. Maybe if I cut the eggs out, it would have been. But I went back to the facility, and their idea of a stress test was my idea of a nice jaunt through the woods. Basically, what they do is they put you on a treadmill, and they put like a clamp over your nose and a thing in your mouth, so you have to breathe through your mouth, so they can monitor your breath, your intake outtake of air, and all the monitors for your cardiac, monitor your cardio rhythmic pulses. And I was on this treadmill. I was doing the pace of the treadmill, and the doctor was like, "Breathe." I am breathing. Or the nurse who was like behind me with her hand at the ready in case I started falling backwards. And I must have been like one of the youngest people there. But anyhow, I'm like going on this treadmill, and the treadmill started going on an incline. Did not really. It picked up a little bit of pace, but not to the point where I had to grab on a rail or anything like that. And they just kept on doing this. Breathe. They kept on telling me to breathe. I'm like, okay, sure, I am breathing. Anyhow, they, like 45 minutes worth of this slowly escalating incline and slowly picking up the pace, but it wasn't like a hardcore run. It was just a good like jog. And they get done with it, and they detach me from all their equipment and whatnot. Oh yeah, we'll send you the doctor the results as soon as the data has basically been processed by a lab. And I went, wait a minute, that's it? They're like, yeah. What do you mean that's it? I'm like, dude, I'm from the country. That was an everyday walk from where I'm from. And they're just looking at me like, ew. And of course, lab results inconclusive. Wonder why. And the thing is when they were like, oh, we're done with the stress test, and I just kind of went, really? That was not a stress test. And they're like, well, why wasn't it stressful? I'm like, well, that's an everyday jog for me. I mean, go out to where I'm from. We got hills and mountains and all kinds of things that just, it's like, you want to really do a stress test? Let's take all this equipment, throw it in the back end of my Buick LeSabre, and take a drive around New York. That will stress me out. So whatever this thing that happens Tuesday, Wednesday, like I said, it was a flash in the pan. It came and went. I just kind of went, oh, that was weird. But Jerry was like, oh, you should tell the doctor next time we go see her. I'm like, set up an appointment. I'm available to go anytime of the day or week. It's, whatever fear factors are on her. Now, if for some reason I feel that I need to go and she doesn't want to go, I will try to set up my own appointment and go at my leisure without her. So it's just like, yeah, okay. But here I am sitting in what I feel comfortable in, dressed the way I want to, doing what I want to, and I don't really feel any, lack of better terms, negative side effects. Like, I don't feel bad about myself. I don't feel I don't. I'm not concerned what the world thinks of me if they see me walking down the street dressed the way I am. Um, the belt that I have on, which was a separate piece that I bought, it has grommet holes and whatnot. Like, I could attach another belt pouch for a bigger pouch, because the one big pouch on this belt system, in fact, let me take it off because it's easy on, easy off. It's not a big deal. It can be worn as a belt. It can be worn over the shoulder as a sash of sorts. But it has these two side pockets. Right now I have a handkerchief in one. But when I went out earlier while I was wearing this, when I went out earlier to do a grocery pickup at Walmart, I put my driver's license and credit card in one pouch. And this pouch is not big enough for my belt and my cell phone. So I had my phone in this big pouch. It's not exactly big enough for my wallet as is, unless I condense my wallet and take a lot of extra stuff out. But it's a simple double loop thing it's attached by a grommet, which the only thing I'm worried about this is if I have it too tight and go to wear it too long, too tight, it might start popping the rivets. But as you can tell, it's got all these different grommets here. It's got all these loops here. That's basically my back. I don't think I'll attach anything like that unless I have a bolster. Basically, a bolster is a scabbard on your back with a belt across your chest to keep it in place. But it's got the same thing on the other side. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, it would be cool if I can, like, I know I can hook my key into my keys with what I have my keys on into one of those holes. But it would be, I can take these right here and like tie a cord or a loop on there for a drinking horn or another belt pouch or another pouch to hang off my belt or something along that line. But I've been comfortable in my clothes. In fact, I have two different Renaissance style men's night shirts, and they're basically down to your, they're long enough to be down to your knees and whatnot. That way you don't have to hike it up so far to go to the bathroom. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm as warm as my bedroom has been lately, and the material that the men's night shirts are made out of are lightweight. Other than my legs being exposed and maybe having to wear pajama pants or some sort of men's legging, I might try to sleep in them because 9 times out of 10 when I go to bed, I take my pants and socks off anyhow because it's too warm underneath the covers for my lower body. And if my upper body gets too warm, I just push my covers down to a comfortable position. Or like I did last night, I kicked off practically all my covers except for my sheet. And all I had was a long t-shirt and a pair of underwear on, and I was somewhat comfortable. But the way my brain was thinking earlier today, and I'm going to see about doing it, I got to trim my beard, my mustache especially. The way my brain was thinking, I was like, you know what? I had the Renaissance style clothing. I've been wanting to wear them and not even worrying about if I'm going to a Renaissance fair or not, and not caring what people thought. Because, well, look at it this way. Here in America, we have people who live in various parts of America who dress up and go to work. And one person who was interviewed on a documentary called Trekkies, this woman was a medical nurse. She was an RN, and she went to work in a Star Trek medical officer's uniform, had the tricorder, the Next Generation communicator badge that made noises and lit up. And her primary profession was not a mainstream nurse. She was a registered nurse at a pediatrics office in Santa Monica or Santa Barbara or one of those Santa something or other California cities. And there was There are people out there who are hired, like Las Vegas had, I don't know if they still did, had Star Trek The Experience, and it was in a casino, and you got to walk through a Star Trek Starship Bridge and one of the casinos and Quark's Bar and things like that, and people getting paid to dress up to look like Klingons or dressed up in Star Trek uniforms. That was part of their daily life, their daily routine, to go into work, get a specialist to come in and do their hair and their makeup and the prosthetics and whatnot to be a Klingon, or prosthetics to be a Vulcan or Romulan. And I was just kind of like, I'm not that big of a Star Trek geek, but if I lived closer to a medieval times or a medieval themed restaurant, or lived in Vegas and got to work at the Camelot Casino, I would have no problems whatsoever dressing up in Renaissance period garb, going to work and having a professional do makeup or hairstyle or beard style, because I'd go into a place like that. So you've got all these, and I would use the proper words. You got all these Anglo-Saxons, but where's the Viking? Where's the Viking warriors? Where's the Norsemen? I'd be the first person to say, you want a person to reenact Norse mythology or dress up in Norse garb? I'm your man. I'm your man. It's not that I want to go be a cosplayer or a LARPer or something like that, because of most people nowadays look at people like me like, oh, he's a cosplayer or a reenactor, or no. I said this once and I'll say it again. If I had the money, and it would take a lot of money, I would find a nice piece of land or acreage and build a Norse-style longhouse to live out of. I'd modernize it so I didn't have to worry about some of the inconveniences. Maybe that is LARPing. But I would do my best to literally live every day like my Nordic ancestors. And if I had even a little bit more money, and can find a spot here in town, I'd open up my own mead hall. And anybody who worked with me or for me in the mead hall would be dressed in period garb and in Nordic garb or fashion. I think it would be fun. A lot of people might not understand it at first, but the food might be enjoyable and atmosphere be enjoyable. And even though I'd have like mead on tap or ale on tap, or alcohol probably wouldn't be like your mainstream Coors or Bud or anything, a lager or a pale ale, or as close to Viking drinks as possible, because mead was not their only drink. In fact, I was reading a book, and it seems to me that according to this book that I was reading, that the everyday drink, even from your not really adolescence, but by the time you get to your mid or your preteens, the average everyday drink was basically a type of beer or ale. Mead was basically reserved for festivities and special occasions, as it was known as the king's drink, because back then to make mead was a lot harder and a lot more time consuming than just making your everyday ale or beer. But I might talk about that at a later date, because my book, the Viking Handbook that I have, or the Viking Handbuch, talks about everyday Viking life. It's not, and what I've read so far, there's no romanticizing anything from the Norse or Viking era. So I'm like, Yeah, it sounds hard and difficult, but that's my people. But anyhow, this was just a generic video to just show me as I'm evolving, because literally, like I told Jerry Ann, when I put this stuff on earlier after getting home from her medical appointment and going to Starbucks, every time I close my eyes and envision myself, this kind of clothing is what I envision wearing all the time. Yes, I have my iWatch on, and I have, my, bracelet, armband, whatever you want to call it. I literally go, this is me. This is who I really feel like. And I'm not gonna hide myself just because the world around me might turn up their nose or laugh or whatever. Because I remember when I was a young boy, a teenager basically, and teenagers are the worst when it comes to judging other people. I would come to school, going through high school, with Levi blue jeans on and a t-shirt and a pair of moccasin boots and a big belt buckle. And people were confused of like, what clique is this kid supposed to, or this guy supposed to be part of? He's got the moccasin boots of a stoner, the blue jeans and belt buckle of what they used to call shit kickers or cowboys, and the t-shirt that screams stoner. And I was like, I don't belong to any group. I am my own person. Why do I need to belong to any group? And back then, I didn't understand the idea of belonging to a group and what groups basically, meant for each other, let alone people outside of the group. I didn't understand that that mindset. But now that I'm sitting here, 49 years old, getting very, very interested and feeling very, very closer to anything I've ever been close to, feeling extremely close and extremely connected to the Norse mythology and the Norse ideology and whatnot, our lifestyle thought processing in modern day terms or modern day means. And then I'm finding all these different groups on Facebook and TikTok and whatnot that are like-minded, and I'm like, I finally found who I am and who I belong to. Now, I don't claim any particular clan or group or however you want to put it. And when I say clan, I do not mean anything like the Ku Klux Klan. Norse people are so far on the opposite spectrum of white supremacy, which basically what the Ku Klux Klan is. We don't associate with those people. So I'm like, this is who I really am. This is what I was really meant to be. Now I know certain family members who don't understand me or don't understand anything outside of Christian views or rhetoric are going to have issues, especially if we go to Ohio this summer/fall. I think there was talks about going to Ohio in either July or August. I'd like to go before my cousin's kids go back to school. I might show up wearing this one day going, this is the true, new, real me. Maybe I won't even say new. Maybe I'll say this is the true, original me. Don't know how I would put it, but I'm pretty sure, I'll get questions about wearing, my hammer or assemblage on my shirt, or if I decide to go do it, if I have the money, the tattoos I want. Yes, my wife and I, we used to joke about it, but I think we're getting more serious about it, is I've seen plenty of Nordic tattoos I would love to have on my arm, chest, legs, arms, chest, back. And Jerry showed me a tattoo that she saw on TikTok today. That she's like, I found my tattoo, and I was like, seriously? And she showed it to me, and I went, okay. I almost said, let's go get them. Let's find a reliable, decent tattoo parlor and go get them. Well, Raleigh don't really have them, and the closest one that everybody talks about is in St. Robert. I'd actually like to go down to Texas because my wife's bestie, who lives down in Texas, her and her oldest daughter had went and gotten tattoos, and they didn't really say where it was from, but I'm like, I'm ready to get a tattoo. I'm ready to start getting my tats. I know I'm 49, but I'm ready. Anyhow, this has gone a little bit too long, so I'm going to sign off and do my thing. So if you enjoyed this this little video chat, I did not realize how bad my camera was on a weird angle. I'm sorry, but if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment box. If you're new to my channel and liked this little video or any of my other videos and want to join, you can click on the subscribe button, and then a little bell will pop up, and you can click on that, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. So until next time, guys, have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.